This belief is making you anxious, so much more than you think. If you don't do this now, then what? This feeling of threat and urgency is not the truth, and it is costing you your peace and your happiness, and that is what I wish for you. I am Pauline, and I am so happy you are here, because sometimes we have these beliefs that feel so normal, that feel so familiar, that we're not even aware that they are just beliefs and we don't have to have them. This definitely is one of them, and it is causing you to feel anxious, probably all the time, 24/7, because every single time you identify something that could be better or that you should be doing, your fear brain immediately goes to, you have to do that now, or else you will never do it. So let's unpack all of that and dive into this, because I want you to feel peaceful and happy and know that this is just a belief. And having released that, I can tell you, gosh, it is so much better to know that nothing is going to happen if you don't do this now. So this was one of the ones that I didn't expect would make such an impact when I would release them. I had this constant feeling of urgency and threat from the future, that if I don't do this now, then things will happen. And I started diving into that, like, okay, so what would happen? And that was really scary, because a belief can be such a statement of truth for your fear brain. So it is telling you, well, you just have to do it now, otherwise you will never do it. And so I started examining, okay, but what if I never do it? Oh, you'll fail, you'll never be good enough. And yet, in examining that and going deeper, and especially releasing it with tapping, I found so many reasons why I had this belief. And one of the reasons is that there's this fear of laziness in a lot of fearful avoidance. Let me know if you recognize it in the comments below. There's this fear that if you are lazy, then nothing ever will come of you. That if you give into that laziness that you have, that fundamental flaw that you have, then you will never regroup. You will never get back on the horse. You will never get better, and you will just kind of like slide down into laziness land and never do anything for the rest of your life, which is very dramatic, very black and white, very fatalistic, which are all cognitive distortions. That's a topic for a different video. I will write that down. It's always when I'm talking to you that I get new ideas for videos, don't I? I love talking to you. So those are not the truth. The fact that it feels so urgent, the fact that it feels so big and real, doesn't mean that it is. It does not mean that it is. So first of all, let's reframe laziness. I was afraid of being lazy for so long. And I reframed it to wanting to be efficient. I think Bill Gates was the one that said, I like to hire lazy people because they do things the most efficient way. They find a way to do things the most efficient way. And I thought, oh, maybe there's a good thing in laziness. So that was my first reframe. But then as I healed more and dove more into this, I realized that laziness is actually could come from you not being allowed to rest when you were younger and to take your time. So that could be because of so many reasons. Maybe your parents were hurrying you all the time. Maybe your parents couldn't handle you resting and relaxing. And maybe they were just pushing you, and they didn't want you to be lazy because they wanted you to perform and to achieve things. Whatever it is, so many fearful avoidants have a lot of negative associations and a lot of emotional charge around laziness. And so when you even consider not doing something now, that laziness trigger is gonna be pinged. It's gonna come up. And then until you do the thing, you feel anxious because you feel like you're doing something you're not allowed to do. So you just keep pushing yourself to do everything now, not listening to your body, not listening to your own boundaries, not listening to your own needs, because you have to do that now, because what if you don't? What will happen then? And there's this sense of having to be productive or having to be useful to be valuable. If you have a problem with laziness, if there's emotional charge around that word, you will work to be valuable. You will be useful to be valuable. But you are valuable, even if you are laying on a couch doing nothing. I don't use the word lazy anymore. I don't have any emotional charge around it, but I know that there's a lot of negative associations around it from society, and I don't think that's fair, because a lot of times being lazy, if someone is labeled lazy, they have needs that are not being met. They have physical needs that are not being met. And this stems from childhood. So there was a child who did not have their needs met. So that is one of the reasons why you feel like you have to do this now. If you don't, you're lazy, and that's not good. But it is good, because be lazy and listen to your body. That's maybe another topic for another video too. I'll write that down. Let me know if you want that one about laziness. So that's a reason why you have to do things. But why do you have to do them now? Why not tomorrow? Why not in a week? If you are a fearful avoidant, there's also this fear that in the future you won't have energy. You won't have the same frame of mind. And maybe you will change your mind. So when I go back and think of the things that I had to do immediately, I'm not sure if I have a very concrete example, but for instance, I would think that I would have to heal something, anything, to be able to function better as a human being in society. I felt like I had to do that now, immediately, because if I didn't, I either would change my mind in the future, I wouldn't have the energy, or I would create problems from still having that thing that I hadn't healed. But it felt like if I didn't do it now, it would never happen in the future. I would never do it. I would never get around to it. And this feeling of being afraid of not having energy in the future is actually a sign that you have been pushing past your own boundaries for a really long time. It means that your body is tired. You're not listening to your body. You're not giving it the rest that it needs. Again, a lot of fearful avoidants have a lot of negative associations around rest. So, what this comes down to is that you don't trust yourself in the future. You don't have a good relationship with your future self. And it is so important that you do. Because otherwise, all you have is this moment, and there's a million things you want to get done in this moment. Does that sound familiar? But that's not realistic. Nobody on planet Earth can do a million things in one single moment. That's just not the way our bodies work, our minds work, time in this 3D world on Earth works. So you have to allow yourself time. You have to allow yourself to not have to do everything right now. And this comes down to perfectionism versus process. And this is one of the very important key things to learn when you're a fearful avoidant. All fearful avoidants have perfectionistic tendencies. I have not met a fearful avoidant having helped over 3,000 people now, that does not have perfectionistic tendencies. It comes with the label, with the job. And one very key reframe is a perfectionist wants to do everything right now because you already feel like you're behind. You already feel like everything is not nearly good enough. You're not even thinking about everything having to be perfect. You feel like it's not good enough. And so everything has to be fixed now to be kind of good enough, maybe. But that's a disguise for perfectionism. And changing that to allowing everything to be a process is such a game changer. Because this all or nothing feeling, like I have to do everything now or else everything will go, that is causing anxiety, all or nothing anxiety. And that will push you even further. That will push your body even further to do things now while you're not tending to your own needs. And that won't help. It won't help in you actually being able to do the things that you want to do. So there's a lot in this, right? It's such a simple phrase. If I don't do this now, I'll never do it. And yet there's so much in there. Because you don't have to do it at all to be valuable. You don't have to do it now because everything is allowed to be a process. It is so normal and human for things to be a process. They don't have to be perfect now. You don't have to have everything fixed now. You can identify something that you want to work on and be like, oh, okay, so that's what I'll work on. And then you work on that for weeks or months, and that's fine. And it is absolutely not true that if you don't do this now, you'll never do it. It is so important to build a relationship with your future self. To tell yourself, even if I don't have the energy for it now, I will take care of myself and I will do it in the future. If it's important, I will do it in the future. I trust my future self. Even when you go through a long period of being lazy, resting, then you will regroup. You will find yourself probably in a more relaxed state. So regrouping is not even the right word, because that feels like you fell off the bandwagon. What is that saying? And now you have to get back on it. Like that takes effort. It doesn't take effort. It doesn't have to take effort. I, for so long, went through these cycles where I would work really hard and then my body would just hit a limit, which is so natural and normal and human. And I would judge that so harshly. And then I would go into a shame spiral, feeling absolutely worthless because I wasn't able to produce or be useful. And then I would tire myself out even more, push myself even harder. And while I was healing, when I was in my healing journey, I started giving in more to that rest period. And sometimes I would heal and would tap on the triggers that would come up. And then after that, it was so much easier to do the thing that I wanted to do, because resistance makes everything so hard and so heavy. And so just allowing myself to be and working through triggers if needed, that made the thing that I felt so much resistance around so much easier. So there's a lot that can be done to change this belief, to release this belief, and to just make life easier and not feel anxious all the time. I mean, there's roots to this too. We've been over a couple of the roots. And if you heal them with the emotional freedom technique, with tapping, it can just feel easy. You can identify something, oh, I want to work on that, and it just feels easy. It feels effortless. It feels light. It doesn't feel like there's this wave crashing, like this tsunami coming towards you of all the things you have to do right now and you have to figure out right now. And that's what I want for you. It kind of gives you this sense of peace that, sure, there's always things to work on, but you are valuable as you are, and you're good enough as you are right now. So that's what I wish for you. If you want to work on that, really go to the roots of the whole fearful avoidant attachment style, but also this one, and release it. That is what we do in the Healed and Happy program, where me and my team really guide you personally through this whole process. So I love this program so much. We have this foundational pathway that you do, which is the same for everybody that goes through the program, because a lot of the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style are the same. And so you go through that foundation, and then we help you decide which pathway afterwards is the best for you, so that you have a custom made healing journey, because no healing journey is the same. And we just love helping you with that. We love guiding you through that and guiding you towards peace and joy, enjoying your life, because that's very much possible. And maybe it's how this life was supposed to be. So if you want to do that, there's a link in the description below. As always, I am so happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one. Healed and Happy is a tailor-made online program where me and my team personally guide you through healing the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style.